Birth. 4. The storm, stalking the city all through morning and half the afternoon, finally leapt on its quarry with a gush of warm spring rain and a rattle of heavenly artillery. Fat, heavy droplets drummed across the rooftops and washed away the frost rimes from the last hard chill as the wind veered and became sweeter. The gates of Sidhe were open, and lion-maned spring roared forth. Surprised mortals scurried through the downpour, newspapers and grocery bags became soaked, drips started through some ceilings, street drains still blocked from last year's fallen leaves, pine needles, or mortal refuse gurgled and foamed. Atop the Savoy, water beaded on the thing's hard, horn-like shell, each drop softening its semi-translucent barrier. The metal hood shielded it from stinging wind, and lightning flashed along whorls and rings decorating its hunched, unlovely carapace. Faint shadows played underneath, something inside twisting and turning, angles pulsing and shimmers of green-yellow. Thinning, like a snail's curled home soaked in honey, or a tortoise's in simmering oils, the hard surface slowly collapsing. It settled, a sheet of hardened leather now instead of a shell, over a small, curled form. Knees drawn up, its vague approximation of a head far too large for the rest of it. Spines along its back flexing but unable to pierce through. Little spatters of foxfire began, flickering around the collapsed shell. It pulsed, a low, punky glow, and the pixies solidified as they always did where the veil was thinning, clotted, or disturbed. Each one a dot of chiming light. Their excited wing clatters lost in the thunder. Blue, red, gold, green, each burst of color passing through a pixie's neighbors and giving way to the next, a semaphore of feverish joy. The braver ones swooped down to almost touch the pulsating shape, and each time one did, it flushed yellow-green and darted away, buzzing a little high-pitched squeal. Excitement, or trepidation, who could tell? They were probably indistinguishable to the little naked, glowing forms with their gossamer wings. Lightning again, bleaching the rooftop. In the moment afterward, the tough, thick, elastic covering showed an odd protuberance, almost as if a small fist had struck it from inside. The pixies fluttered, but now they observed from a safe distance. Scatterbrained and hummingbird as they were, they knew enough to stay out of reach. Some forgot but were pulled back by the agitated chiming of their brethren. The spines along its unseen back flexed, not quite piercing the tough, almost leather, membranous as a turtle's egg. The thing, bigger now, rolled across the top of the roof, fists and feet flailing. The rain thinned its covering even more. The pixies, dodging raindrops and turning white each time lightning flashed, followed. The veil thinned afresh, reverberating with whatever event was rising to the surface of now. A snap, a crunch, a shower of wet salt smell, spines now piercing the thinned membrane. The thing, on all fours, shook and twisted, the toothy projections from its back scraping and rending. Clear fluid bubbled free, the drumming rain mixing opalescent, streaming slug sheen onto the roof. The Savoy Limited's ragged, carved gargoyles couldn't bear to watch. They gazed at the river streets below instead. Thunder boomed. The thing tore free of the membrane and tumbled free, wet and naked on a gush of smoking birth fluid that stain-scorched the roof's grit-crunching top. Rain spattered, each drop striking twice from the violence of impact. Extra-jointed hands flailing, a scream tearing from a wet O of a mouth. Yellow-green irises flashing before the black of the pupils swallowed them whole. The creature steamed. It was clawed both hand and foot. The membrane that had held it dissolved.